Hi, my name is Jack, and this is the story of my calendar year Triple Crown hike, a 9.5-month journey along the Appalachian, Pacific Crest, and Continental Divide trails. It takes most hikers 4 to 6 months to complete just one of these trails, but I must complete all 3 before December 31st. To put the challenge into perspective, more people have been to the moon than have completed a calendar year Triple Crown. It's amazing how much can change just day to day. Yesterday, it rained all day. It's pretty cold to the point where I didn't even want to stop to eat food. And my knee was hurting. It was really not fun, kind of miserable, just lots of pain in many different ways. And then today, I got to that little hostel, I got a shower, I got laundry done so my clothes were warm and dry, got a pizza, some real food, and I got a knee brace, so that really has alleviated pretty much all the pain. And it's like night and day. And what separated that? Just not even 24 hours. That's it. So that really highlights, one, this idea of impermanence. All the pain yesterday, the rain, all that, it's impermanent. And today is also impermanent. I'm sure I will have different pains in the future, and we'll encounter more bad weather in many various forms, and lots of other challenges that I can't even conceive of right now. Chinese food at the grocery store, and this is a beer that I put into the bottle. Everything will change. If you're having a bad day, it will change. If you're having a wonderful time, cherish that moment, because it will change. And also just don't quit when it's hard, because it'll change the next day. You'll get some food, get some trail magic, get some cool views. Sun will come out and you'll have a completely different experience. I think that happens a lot. People have a bad day or a couple of bad days and they project out that, well, how am I going to do this for 6 months? But it's not going to be like that for 6 months. It will be every kind of experience you can imagine, and so many more that you can't. And that's what makes this journey so cool. Night hiking when there's a thick fog is pretty annoying. The camera actually, you can see further than I really can. This is the Whiskey Hollow shelter. It's quite nice, double-decker. I kept a breakneck pace for nearly 40 days, and now my body was telling me it was time to rest. I had a Plan Zero coming up, so I just needed a few more days to get through Virginia. My pace was slowed significantly by the knee brace, but progress was still progress, and I was able to make about 18 miles a day. March 25th, I have made it 1,000 miles in 38 days. So that's a pretty good time. I came across a group of volunteers doing trail maintenance. The Appalachian Trail is maintained almost entirely by volunteers. There are 31 different Appalachian Trail clubs up and down the trail, and they are responsible each for a different section of the trail. The trail is so special with all of the people along the way who are just interested in helping you with no ulterior motive. Alright, I've made it another state 39, so that means Virginia took 20 days, and now Virginia is the longest state. Now the state should come pretty quick. It's been my experience that things tend to happen in clusters, almost as if we've moved through periods of time where some things are more likely during that time. I came across a hiker by the side of the trail who had rolled his ankle earlier in the day, and he was having trouble walking on it. I had taken a Knowles Wilderness EMT course a couple years before, so I offered to help him tape up his ankle. If you ask any hiker, they'll be able to tell you about times on trail where they needed help or someone needed help and then help seemed to magically appear. I've experienced this in small and large ways, and it reinforces for me the idea that life really is not so random and things are much more intertwined and connected than we believe. I was able to help the hiker stabilize his ankle so that he could hike out to the car with his friends. The nice thing about the AT being so close to civilization is that if you do get injured, it's not too far to a road for you to get off trail.
Oh, you're the bad dude. Came at a good time, my friend. Sorry to slow you down.
I was just saying that to my camera. I was like, you always get, because my friend's gonna pick me up from DC. So tonight I'm gonna, get to town, and it's like, because my knee's been hurting, and it's like this. I needed a day off right here.
Yeah.
And it worked out.
Right on.
It always.
Hopefully the cold today doesn't kill off these flowers.
Had a nice zero in Washington, D.C. With Marvel, who I met on the Colorado Trail last year, and ate a tremendous amount of food. It was actually pretty cold yesterday and last night. It's supposed to be pretty cold tonight too, but I think yesterday was the coldest one, so that was good timing. I am headed into Harpers Ferry now. I got off at Keys Gap, so we got back on there. Just a couple more miles now. It's been really flat, easy, fast hiking. I am at the ATC, Harpers Ferry, West Virginia. This is considered the spiritual halfway point. The real halfway point is, 50, 100 miles north. I was the fourth person to pass through Harpers Ferry that year. Ahead of me are Tank Top and Kansas Express, both of whom are going for a Calendar Year Triple Crown, and a hiker named Sam Shaw who started in December and would persevere all the way through the ice and snow. Harpers Ferry has a rich history. It was the site of John Brown's raid on an armory. John Brown was an abolitionist, and his goal was to incite a slave rebellion. This happened in 1859 and was a prelude to the Civil War. A more recent piece of history: on September 13th of 1990, Paul David Cruz was captured while trying to come into Harpers Ferry on this bridge after he had murdered Jeffrey Hood and Molly LaRue at a shelter near Duncannon on the Appalachian Trail. At only 41 miles, Maryland is the shortest state on the AT, and it is also the flattest state on the AT. This was good news as I was still trying to recuperate my knee.
This is the original Washington Monument, built on July 4th, 1827.
The Appalachian Trail is just so pristine and wild. It's so remote out here. Just feel like I'm all alone in the wilderness. No people around. It's really pretty crazy how wild and not surrounded by people the trail is. Pretty beautiful sunset. One nice thing about doing this in winter into spring, you get views everywhere you go. The Mason-Dixon line. This is the border to Pennsylvania. Unfortunately, someone has stolen the sign. But another state down, entering Pennsylvania, and it's actually a pretty nice day today. It warmed up a whole bunch, so that's nice. I'll probably hike on a little bit into the evening, do at least 30, and try and push a bigger day tomorrow. Wake up earlier. So I got rid of my stove, but you can still eat these good dehydrated meals without a stove. see, this one requires 2/3 of a cup. 2/3 of a cup. I have no idea how many liters that is, but I'm just gonna kind of fill it up. Eyeball it here. A little bit more. And then over the course of the next several hours as I hike, this should rehydrate, or at least mostly rehydrate, enough that I can eat it. Do the same with this one. 450 milliliters, so that's going to be almost half of this guy. So the downside of doing this is now I'm going to be carrying like an extra liter of water in these pouches. And for most of the day, you know, and all these other days, I don't have that weight of the stove and I don't have to take the time to cook it. Halfway there. Not sure what I feel. Mostly just kind of tired today.
It's getting pretty dark. Starting to rain. I put this camera away.
Cool, rainbow all the way. So I'm at the Alec Kennedy shelter now. The last 2 miles were pretty annoying. Started thunderstorming again, so lightning everywhere, rain, and then there's a bunch of these rocks that were just you had to clamber over, so a bunch of wet rocks. But I'm at camp. Tomorrow I will get to Port Clinton in the morning, Boiling Springs in the morning. Get some breakfast, carry out some lunch, and then get to Duncannon in the evening. Eating a nice meal in Boiling Springs, and then hiking on. I am walking through the Cumberland Valley now. It's basically 17 miles going through farmland. It reminds me a lot of that Windows screensaver, you know, the old one with just green fields and blue sky. That's what all this looks like to me. It's very flat, easy walking, so I have no complaints.
Now that is quite a view. Pennsylvania. That's nice to see.